Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back. This is my review for Secret Invasion Episode 2. Spoiler warning, if you have not seen the episode, go watch it and then come back. It's going to be talking about Secret Invasion Episode 2 in all spoiler details, so let's get into it. So, first off, if you saw my last review, you'll know that I really didn't like last episode. I thought it felt cheap, I thought it felt thrown together, I thought it felt like it was poorly written. But this episode, I'm going to say, was one of the best episodes I've ever seen Disney Plus do for a Marvel show. I mean, the difference in quality is insane. Like, I was blown away. I honestly was. This is definitely one of the best episodes Marvel have done for a Disney Plus series so far. I mean, it just felt cleaner. It felt thought through. It felt, like the dialogue was better. The writing was better. Everything felt so much better. Even the cinematography and the lighting. Everything just felt better this episode, like much better. So yeah, I'm going to just talk about it in all spoiler details. So once again, here is your spoiler warning. Let's get into it. So the episode starts off with Fury promising to find, or younger Fury promising to find the Skrulls a home. And he meets young Gravik, and there's a little scene that plays out there. I don't think it's of much importance other than, like in terms of what I'm talking about, but it has importance for the series, right? It's like, obviously there's a personal angle. He knows Gravik. There's sort of a dynamic there, which we haven't explored yet, but we will. But in terms of this episode, we got it revealed that Nick Fury, in exchange for finding them a home, asked for the Skrulls to be spies for them, like in exchange. While he looks for a home for them, they will be helping him as spies using their shape-shifting abilities. So, yeah, that scene was really, really good. It gave us some background, some well-needed background, some reason as to why they might be mad, and some background with Gravik as well as a child. Also, I want to say the de-aging looked fantastic on Samuel L. Jackson. It looked really, really great, especially for a Disney Plus series. It looked really, really good. So yeah, that scene was really good. Next up, we have the train scene with Fury and Talos. It was so good, it blew me away. Just the writing and the dialogue is so superb. I mean, it was amazing. We got so much background on Fury and insight as to him as a character, and when he was a child with his mother on the whatever it was, like the car or something, or the train that they took. Yeah, that was really great background on Fury, but it also led to a really, really cool argument with Talos and Fury about the Skrulls, where he says, "We used to play a game. Tell me something I don't know," and then he says, "Tell me something I don't know about the Skrulls," and it's when Talos reveals that there are over 1 million Skrulls living on Earth. And holy shit. I literally assumed there were a couple hundred, maybe 1,000, maybe a few thousand. But 1 million? That changes everything. And that's since 97. That's since a long time ago. So who knows what has been happening in the MCU that long. Well, hopefully it gets revealed in this show. But yeah, they have an argument about, Fury has a really great point about we can't even tolerate our own species. How do you expect us to tolerate an alien species? And that's a really good point. And but Talos is sympathetic, saying they have no home. This is the last place to go. I want to see us living as equals. And he says and Fury says we can't even live as equals with ourselves. So how is that going to happen? But anyway, that was a great scene. We also got to find out that Talos is mad at Fury for disappearing into space for years, which we don't know what he was doing up there. We know he was on Saber, the space station, but we don't know what he was doing. So hopefully we'll find out more about that. But yeah. Next up is a scene at Hill's funeral. Basically, it's a funeral, yeah, and it's just between Fury and Maria Hill's mum, and I just thought it was so brilliantly acted and so emotional, and it really hit me out of left field. Is that the expression? It really took me out of left field or whatever. I didn't expect it at all. I didn't expect such, emotion from this. With the MCU series, the MCU Disney Plus series, you don't expect this serious tone. You don't expect it to be more adult. You expect it to be like a Disney show. But that scene was great. I really felt for Maria Hill's mum in that scene. Whoever the actress was that played her mother was really, really good. I mean, she was able to pull off that emotion very, very well. But yeah, I'm loving the serious tone that it's taking. It feels grounded. It feels like the Winter Soldier. And I really am loving the tone that they've set in this episode. It was a great, great scene. And by the way, last episode I said, or in my last review, I said that I don't think Hill's dead because it's a show about shapeshifters and people pretending to be people they're not. However, after that scene, I feel like she is definitely dead. She is dead. I mean, fuck, but that pisses me off though. I really don't like that they've done that. They've given her no development. So, I don't know if they can do that after she's dead, but maybe. I mean, that scene was great. I don't know. I'm upset that she's dead, but I think she is actually dead now. But yeah, there's also that Skrull meeting with Gravik and the Skrull Council, about his attack, his terrorist attack, because they are obviously not with him, or at the time they're not with him, so they're, trying to punish him, basically, like meeting with him to discuss his punishment, essentially, right? But something that was really cool is we find out that the Skrull Council is made up of, in quotes, world leaders, and that's a really cool way to set up how serious this is and how long the Skrulls have been infiltrating Earth. The scene was very, very tense. It was very well acted. I think Gravik is actually really good as a villain. I think he's very intimidating, and he has a great presence. So that's really, really good. But yeah, that whole scene was great. Them talking about, Gravik and what they're going to do, and it was great. It was really, really great. It was really tense as well. And they even say at one point, what are you going to do if the Avengers come back? And he says, I have a plan for that, which we do find out. But yeah, and we find out that one of the Skrulls, or the world leaders, the Prime Minister of the UK, I think it was, betrayed the Skrull Council and is siding with Gravik, and then the rest of them submit to him and sort of side with him, but mostly out of fear rather than, actual belief in him. But one of them doesn't, and she is allowed to be let go, which, I respect Gravik for that, but I also expect she will be killed soon. But yeah, she calls Talos and Talos tries to set up a meeting, which obviously we'll see next episode, I'm pretty sure. So we'll see how that goes down. But either way, that was a really, really great scene. It set up the stakes. It made it show how serious this is, and it showed Gravik as a really intense villain. So yeah, I thought that scene was great. We also find out, Gaia, Talos' daughter, played by Emilia Clarke, finds the Super Skrull program, which, if you don't know what Super Skrulls are, they're basically just a more advanced race of Skrulls in the comics who have superpowers, basically. And mostly it's of the Fantastic Four. Like, they can stretch, they can go invisible, they can, shoot fire out of their hands or whatever. But yeah, we find, Gaia finds out that they're trying to create Super Skrulls, and that's even what, that's what Gravik was referring to in that scene with the council when they said, what if the Avengers come back? And he says, don't worry, I have a plan for that. And so this is his plan, is Super Skrulls. But yeah, some really cool Easter eggs that we saw. We saw files on a Groot specimen, and like a Frost Giant specimen. And we also see Cull Obsidian's hand from Infinity War when Wong used the portal to cut off his hand, and we see it get sent to it's in New York, right? Where he sends Cull Obsidian to Antarctica or something. And then he cuts off his hand. We see the hand again. The Skrulls have possession of Cull Obsidian's hand, and they're obviously using it to sort of create these Super Skrulls. They're also, as well as Cull Obsidian's hand, there's also an Extremis soldier, like a file on an Extremis soldier, which is the sort of the villains of Iron Man 3, right? The Extremis project. Was that what it was called? Yeah, whatever. But yeah, so that's obviously how they're making the Super Skrulls. We'll see what happens with that. I'm very, very excited. I think it's going to be really, really cool. Next up, Rhodey, we see him have a meeting with the world leaders about the terrorist attack. It's a very, very good scene. It's also very well shot as well. Everything felt so much more so much better put together than the last episode was. Like, the shots were amazing, the light was great, the dialogue was fantastic, the writing in this episode was fantastic, the dialogue was great. There was a funny scene in this part about, or a funny bit in this part, where the Slovakian woman was being annoying, and Rhodey turned around and said to his friend, or whoever it was, if she does that again, I'm gonna carpet bomb this place. I'm gonna put on the suit and carpet bomb this place. I thought that was really, really funny, and I actually did laugh in that scene. I don't usually laugh at Marvel shows because typically it's just Marvel humor, but that was pretty funny. So yeah, that was great. But the scene that I think was the best in the episode was the meeting with Fury and Rhodey. It was just so well acted. And that's what I really wanted to see from this show, was these great actors. Like, we've got Don Cheadle and Samuel L. Jackson in a series together. And this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see them acting across from each other. I wanted to see them actually acting and, saying these words with real emotion. And we see them play off each other. We see their dynamic. It's great. It's what I wanted. I was really disappointed last episode when we got that scene with Olivia Colman and Samuel L. Jackson. And it just felt so cut up. It felt not natural. And I was like, this is Olivia Colman and Samuel L. Jackson. How do you have a scene with them? And it's boring. God, they're both great actors, but what did editors do? They butchered that scene. But yeah, this was great. This was what I wanted. The dialogue was amazing. I really love the stuff about the shared ancestry and how they know what it's like to be in each other's shoes. And and Fury's trying to get his help, saying, come on, help me out, you understand this, I need your help, right? But Rhodey is being awfully dismissive. It makes me wonder if maybe he's a Skrull. Like, could he be a Skrull? I don't think. If he is a Skrull, I think they're going to be safe with it and say he was recently switched out. He hasn't been a Skrull the whole time. I don't think they'll do that. I don't think they'll go that far. But yeah, I really did like that scene. I also love the bit where Fury grabs the Rhodey's, like one of the Rhodey's security guards' guns and says, "I'm still Fury, even when I'm out, I'm in." Because Rhodey obviously fired him and was being dismissive, and it was really, really cool. It was just a great scene, and I loved it. They even mentioned the Avengers there, and we got a reason as to why the Avengers aren't showing up, because Fury doesn't want to risk them being impersonated and then have them be labeled as terrorists and stuff like that. So I get that. It's a good in-universe reason to not have these big name or the big characters there, like Falcon and Doctor Strange and stuff like that. So yeah, that was really, really cool. Next is that scene with Sonya where she tortures the Skrull, one of the Skrulls who bombed Moscow basically. And that scene was also really good. Olivia Colman she was like a peppy, torturer. It was weird. It's like you don't usually see that in a torture scene. So she it's also really cool to see Olivia Colman torturing someone. I know that's really like fucked up, but just seeing her and her her attitude, her screen presence, doing such a terrible thing, it's just very, very, it's funny, but it's also really, really good, and really tense. She plays it like tense, like it's that type of character where they like act like they're joking around and it's all funny, but they're actually very serious and they will kill you. So yeah, she does that really, really well. That scene was really cool, and it was surprisingly gory. Like, you actually see her cut his finger off, and you see like the bone and everything in the blood, and then it turns green, and that was really cool. That was a cool way to see if someone's a Skrull, but it was also so brutal. But yeah, and then we see her escape through the hatch when Gravik arrives, with a pretty cool action scene, to be honest. And yeah, we see her leave. But that was a great scene. Olivia Colman is fantastic in that whole scene. I cannot wait to see what she does in the future of the show. The show ends with Fury going back to see his wife, who's revealed to be a Skrull. We didn't even know he had a wife, but now we know she's a Skrull, which, by the way, we don't know if Fury knows that. I wonder if he does know. That's going to be interesting. But yeah, I wonder how she's going to play into the series. But that's it for my review for Secret Invasion Episode 2. This episode was great. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments below. And leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.